Assistant Professor of the Department of Electronics and Communication, Universal Engineering College, for their presentation on Action Research Bloom's Taxonomy-based methodology for high-impact teaching.
So, very good morning to one and all present over here. Myself Ajal, working as an assistant professor from Universal Engineering College, Thrissur. And here with me is Vimala. He is also an assistant professor from the Computer Science Department. So here our topic is regarding Bloom's taxonomy-based action research methodology for high-impact training. So the very first part is a slogan from Subnishad, and it shows the relation between the Vidya and Avidya. Since the time constraint, I am not going to go with that. So the major presentation part we are going to discuss is the context part and its initiative and certain things known as the possibilities and various terms or jargons in our technical education or learning. We used to hear the pedagogy, curriculum as such, and even some essential learning. So these are all some terms that we are usually hearing in the day-to-day life. So what we are going to do or research here is the penultimate shell shown over here is the educational approaches. So we are making out certain flavors in the educational structure, and I have just intentionally made a blank over here. That is nothing but the failures of the students between certain issues like lack of concentration, motivation, and even from the teacher part there will be certain things known as a boring lecture as such. So as we coming into a broader sense, the curriculum as a framework is nothing but a breeding ground for the students in order to improve themselves and in order to make an improvement or a change or variation in their part. So as the previous presenters has explained about the teacher, the term has been changed or modified. So we call it as in our engineering as a facilitator or a faculty over there, and the facilitator will give certain facilitate to the education as an ethical part, and they will give certain type of heuristic method or demonstration or even lecturing method or hybrid variety of the same. And this was a gift given by one of my students. I will, if time permits, I will explain about that also. So even that, there are certain complexity in the teaching learning ethics as concerned. So one which can mimic that is known as our VLSI design in IC chip. We call it as a time complexity, and the second one is known as a space complexity. Time complexity in the sense some lectures will be rousing rank, and what happens is that the syllabus will not be covered. So such issues are there, and the second one will be the spatial complexity, and this is Leslie Wanger who has been explained about how the teaching learning has been made into and the experience made by the students. Now I hand over to my friend Smut Kumar.
So good morning one and all. Thank you Ajal sir. So we will discuss about action research. It is just like give and take policy. Nothing but action and reaction. As engineers, it resembles water flow model in software engineering. It includes various steps which begins from algorithm, flow chart, source code, debugging and execution. Then anyway, the beneficiary will be the listeners. So there is a paradigm shift from teacher-centric learning towards listener-centric learning. So various steps include reinforcing, modifying and changing perceptions. So data collection is the main part of the action research, so which includes experiencing through observation, enquiring through discussion and even examining. The basic thing is this is an activity-based planning method for the evaluation. So the action research model includes action and reflection. So reflection may be negative or positive. If it is negative, you just go for a review of our previous lecture. Then process flow model so teaching principle mentions that it resembles a typical PDCA cycle. PDCA is nothing but plan, do, check and act.
So before moving out, which is most mandatory is in order to make a or build a better relationship, there should be a teacher and a student type of relationship. So thing is that a better relationship between the faculty or the facilitator and the students can foster a change. So you cannot read between the line regarding the term so called as which mimics relationship. But thing is that you have to always remind that there should be a one-arm distance between the faculty and the student so that it can foster a change.
So for a particular area of interest, as a faculty, we need some skill set. So data-driven action research says that we need, as a faculty, we need technical skills, interpersonal skills, and emotional skills. The first two are gathered personally, and third one is gathered by the experience. Gathered by experience. The very first step is the problem identification part. So it can be done by discussion, negotiation and so on. As Ajal has explained you before about time complexity, the deadline is always mandatory. Is that right? So I be synchronous as well. Henceforth, a periodic, synchronous, recurrent cycles of action research should be implemented. This should be done with respect to the timeline. So I don't want to research something, I want to make a change. So I just go for it.
So this was one of the model which we have been done in Metro School of Engineering. It's in Mala, in Thrissur district. We made it as a pineapple experiment. So such type of experiment type of learning methodology. There are certain methods that we have been made, which will be almost evolved at due time. It was an experimentation regarding MIMO type of system. We call it as multiple input, multiple output model. So such type of methodology by which we can make certain alteration in the so-called as teaching learning environment and make them in a participatory mode of class listening. And see, in the case of participatory mode of class listening means the listener should not be keeping mum, and almost if you are having almost a 50 to 70 minutes of class period, around 1 hour, and you have to make a participation and involvement of the students as such so that it will be an interesting part. And another part is regarding the Bloom's taxonomy. As we know that what is meant by taxonomical part means it is just a nomenclature. So there is a structure, the skeleton of the action research that we have been formulated was Bloom's taxonomy. There are two parts. One is the original or the orthodox type of taxonomy, and the next one is known as the modified or reviewed type of Bloom's taxonomy. In that version, it's most mandatory to have a topic known as mentor. So the term teacher has been moved into a term known as so-called as mentor. And other than what many of my predecessors has explained about a smart classroom, more and informative lecture has been made out by using an interactive session. And what made the action research result is that since due to certain ethical reason I cannot pump up out with the recent 2011 or 12 or 13 right now research that which I have been done, because they are all doing their engineering, BTech engineering in colleges. So I took the previous data of the 2009 batch and 2010 batch. The students were 60, sample set of 60 students were taken, and we have gone with this heuristic approach of action research based upon this Bloom's taxonomy. And finally, what happened is that other than the university examination, we used to have certain two internal examination we call series test 1 and series test 2. And without action research, what happened is that the marks provided by the students were 61.5%, and by using this action research as an aid, what happened is that almost around 10% of increment in the percentage of the students has been made. So it's a proven fact that even the weaker student of the class will pertain to better result. And the second part we have made is a CAMS system, continuous attendance monitoring system. So we will mark the semester of the student, we will circle the semester of the student, and we will take the theory 1, 2, 3 up to 6, and the lab practical